Today I'm going to show you how to make a homemade beef stew using some of the items you may have canned in the past and throwing those together to make a beautiful pot of beef stew that your family will love. So today I'm using my canned carrots that I canned way back in probably 2020, 2021. I'm using some canned meat as well that I canned back in 2021. And we're going to throw this all together. So I've got some extra virgin olive oil going in the Instapot on a saute mode, but you can use a regular pot on your stove and just put a little olive oil in your pan or something to heat it up so you can put your onions in there, some diced onion. Any color of onion will work. I had a red onion. And I'm using the garlic that's been in my food storage pantry for years. I mean, I know some people would throw this stuff away, but it's still working. It's still flavorful for me. I'm using it. I'm using some of my beef broth that I made last week in the crock pot on a slow simmer. So this is delicious, very nutrient dense bone broth. So a lot of things that we've canned are going into this recipe. Here comes the beef that I pressure canned. Yeah, it was about 4 or 5 years ago. And I know some people would throw meat out if it's been sitting that long, but actually it had a really great flavor. It was sealed so tight I could barely get that lid off. And I smelled it. It was fresh. We ate it. We didn't die. It was delicious, so it worked out. This was just beef stew meat that I found on sale at one time, and I pressure canned. And it was my first time pressure canning meat. I pressure can a lot of things, but I hadn't done meat before, and it worked out really good. This is a quart of carrots that I had pressure canned as well. I think I actually water bath canned those because you really don't need to pressure can carrots. But I might have pressure canned them. I have 2 pressure cookers, and I really like to work with those when I find things I want to keep for a very long time. These are potatoes that I pressure cooked as well. And I'm just breaking them up. They're already cooked up really good because of the pressure cooking and the jar sealing. But now I'm just cutting them into smaller pieces to put into our beef stew. And they're still good. They're delicious. Yeah, they're about 5 years old too. So this is really learning how, as a homemaker, to use what you have. And when times get lean, as they will sometimes in your life, you can just go and use up some of your food storage. Make a delicious, lovely meal for your family. I always had this innate desire to be a homemaker, to can and to pressure can, to preserve. I don't know if it's in my DNA from women in my past. I'm sure it is. My mother did a little bit of canning. We had a peach tree growing up, and I remember her canning there. But I think it's just always been in me to be barefoot in the kitchen, pressure cooking, preserving food for my family, making amazing homemade meals. These are green beans that I pressure cooked just last year. 2024 is when I did those. So I'm just cutting them into bite-sized pieces now, putting them in. In the summer months here in Arizona, sometimes I get invited to work at the farmer's market. My friend, her mom has peaches and vegetables and all kinds of amazing produce come in from Utah. So last year I bought a bunch of things: green beans, tomatoes, apples, pears, nectarines, peaches, and I just canned and canned. So this year I'm not canning as much. I want to use up what I have in that pantry. You can go watch the pantry clean out videos. Those will be helpful so you can see what I've got in there. So the beef stew is really coming together with that bone broth, those carrots, the green beans, the beef stew meat, the onion, the garlic. We're just going to season it up with some salt and pepper. I'm just going to clean up as I go. It's good to just clean as you go, and then we'll do the dishes afterwards together. If you start making these habits of cleaning as you go, making sure that there's no dishes in the sink when you're getting ready to have dinner, it's already done for you. It makes your life so much simpler, so much easier. I'm adding about a teaspoon and a half of salt, about a teaspoon of pepper as well, maybe a little less. We're going to stir it, taste it. I'm going to add some herbs though, some herbs of Provence, herbs de Provence, I think it's called. And these have good herbs in it. Rosemary, thyme, parsley, I believe. I gotta see what the blend is, but the flavors are really coming together. It's just not quite there. I'm adding a little bouquet seasoning. This is what people use to make gravies. Some brown bouquet seasoning. And it's a liquid. You find that in any grocery store. Sometimes it's hard to find it on the right aisle. Look where the spice aisle is. See if you can't find it there. It's nice because it'll flavor things and make gravy and brown things up, and that's perfect for beef stew. It adds a depth of flavor here. It's just a different way to make beef stew. Typically when I make beef stew, when the meat's not cooked, I'll do it in the Instapot. I like to add some red wine for depth, so I've got a totally different recipe for beef stew in the Instapot that I absolutely love, which is really like a pot roast stew. We're adding just a little more salt because we're tasting as we go, adjusting, seeing what we need, and I think it's now perfect. I think the family's really gonna like this for dinner. So we're just gonna pop a lid on it. And then I'm gonna probably head right over to that sink to do those dishes. Clean as we go. There's something really amazing about knowing that you put this soup together for your family. You'd canned the ingredients that all went into that Instapot to make that soup. There's a feeling there that I can't describe that feels good. And this is not something I had a recipe for. I just looked at ingredients in my pantry and I said, okay, let's throw these together. Let's make a soup. Let's make a stew. So I think it's good if you, of course, can always have a batch of bone broth going in your kitchen. If you're not used to doing that yet and you're thinking you want to be more of a person who has things around, a good supply of things around, start by making bone broth and then working your recipes around that bone broth throughout the week. I do have a video on making amazing beef bone broth if you want to check that out. I also have one for chicken broth as well, but my latest one was about beef bone broth because my friend gave me some knuckle bones and they were amazing. Once you have your bone broth in your kitchen, you're pretty well to go with a lot of different recipes. And if you can get in the habit of seasonally doing some canning with some produce that's in season, I think it's really going to help you up your skills of cooking from scratch and being able to budget and save your money as well. And then when meat goes on sale and things like that, it's a great time to stock up and pressure can that. And there's something very satisfying about having a clean kitchen afterwards, isn't there? Not having to worry about the mess. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can go over to Instagram. Health Coach Heather is where you can find me for more information. or my podcast, Nourished Connections. Bye-bye.